Um, Urban agriculture provides a way for people in an urban setting to get fresh produce without the use of uh, massive transportation of the food, of the produce, or other inconveniences.
Um, yeah, it was people who wanted to grow their own food on campus. Um, it was a student club that started maybe, I want to say, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. Started out small. We had 2 members to begin with, and now we have. How many Facebook members do we have, Cameron? Well over 100, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Well over 100, and probably about 20 or so really active people
Cool.
at any given time. So yeah. Just this.
Just this?
Yeah.
How did you guys acquire this like plot?
We had to have a long, drawn-out conversation with facilities management on campus about where to best put this. And this land, 4 years ago, there was nothing here. It was excavated for. This was a volleyball court when that was a bank headquarters.
Okay.
And so it was excavated to be totally level. The soil was really poor, so we've had to add like compost and all kinds of organic material to make it work as a garden. But yeah, there was nothing here. It was just a flat, grassy area. We buy a lot from Mom's, My Organic Market.
Okay.
We've had a couple members who've worked there in the past, and they get a discount. We've also bought it from Baker Creek heirloom seeds.
Okay.
So a lot of our produce is heirloom variety. A lot of the seeds we buy are organic seeds, which is really important. Food values, we don't use any pesticides. We're totally organic. We're pretty egalitarian in our decision making. What are other values, right?
Hard work. Nice.
And the students decide what is grown on the farm.
Right.
So
Cool.
it's sort of our own,
Anything that people want to grow gets grown.
Cool.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
It's nice because it's really malleable, you know.
Cooperative.
We have a hierarchy now. We have a president, a vice president, treasurers, Cameron, but we make our decisions collectively.
Cool.
Yeah. So basically, any idea that somebody floats is viable, and if it gets enough support, we do it.
The water catchment system. That's a big thing that people have done in the past.
So the water catching system.
Yeah, over there.
What was the process of building that like?
I don't know, I wasn't here.
We had to design it. So the facilities actually built it for us. They built the wooden structure. We
Alright.
designed what the system looked like. We set up all the PVC. And we got the barrels from a bottling plant downtown. So we don't have any water here. There's no faucet or anything. So
Were they all donations, the PVC and the bottles, or do you have to buy them?
We bought the PVC. The barrels were free.
Cool.
Yeah, but we have no water supply here, so everything in the summer when it's really hot, all the water comes from the roof of that shed right there.
Outside the system.
Every once in a while we try and have communal dinners, you know.
Oh, cool.
So with a lot of the food that we produce here, because we almost always have a surplus, or we end up giving it to Food Not Bombs and organizations like that.
You've talked about in the past, have there been farmers markets using produce from the farm?
Oh,
Has this happened?
yeah, we at one point in time did farmers markets as well in the union, and that's something we're definitely trying to do in the near future again.
So you're selling food to students?
Yeah, we have in the past.
Okay. And
We
that.
are SGA funded for this semester, but next semester we are just trying to fund ourselves
Cool.
and see how it works out.
All right. So you guys are going to try to be sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is to be, completely autonomous. And
Right.
I think that's one of the things about the farm that's great is that you actually have the avenue to produce something in such like a consumption-oriented society, you know?
Cool.
Well, now that we pay for the tools, the farm pretty much the farm produces for itself as long as we maintain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've faced challenges through being funded by the SGA and having certain conditions under which we can spend our money, and time constraints is always a big one too. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Stuff like composting. Open composting is illegal in Baltimore County with food scraps. So we've tried to get around stuff like that by composting farm scraps instead. What else? So the administration building is right there. So they look over the farm. So it has to look nice at all times, which for a farm in the off season is not always easy.
Right.
So we get complaints from administration fairly often.
Wow. What do you do about those complaints?
We try to clean it up as best we can.
Okay.
Try to address them as best we can. At first, when we made this garden, we were told we couldn't have anything set up that couldn't be taken down in an afternoon. And obviously, we've grown a lot beyond that.
Right.
You know, so we've gone little by little, farther and farther.
What do you
out.
think prompted that policy decision?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't want it to be an eyesore, I guess.
We're nervous.
I feel like it'd be more of an eyesore if it could be taken down in an afternoon.
Yeah, that might be.
Right.
We didn't have a space where we could congregate here, and now we have those the stump circle over there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Which is great when it's warm out. So, compost has been an issue. We got that delivered from the school this year. So it's actually compost that comes from the dining halls.
Okay, so they can do it legally?
They take it to a facility off-site, an industrial facility off-site.
Okay.
You can't do it just like an open bin like we're doing it right here. The biggest policy change we're trying to promote is through Real Food Challenge. Do you know much about that, Ken?
A thing or two. I know that it's a nationwide campaign, mainly for universities, calling for them to change their food dining options to what they consider to be real food, or what the organization considers to be that. And it's basically on the student group themselves, which there's one on campus now. It's just called Real Food Challenge Towson, and they basically have to add up all of the kind of dining options in a sort of point system, I believe it is. And then they have a way of quantifying like how much of the food at the dining hall is real food and how much of it is not.
They've passed policies on that at UMD, she said, and also Johns Hopkins, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to something like 60% real food. Is that what it was?
Here at Towson? Or at
No,
Johns
not at
Hopkins?
Towson.
At Hopkins, I don't know the percentage,
Hopkins.
but the real
was-
food basically means sustainably grown, locally harvested, and fair wages for workers. And so Hopkins has been like the standard bearer in this area.
Cool.
But we're
How's
trying.
Towson's doing?
Well, right now the group is still trying. A group is
We don't
affiliated
have
with the
anything
farm.
passed yet, do we?
Yeah, but they're still gathering data right
Do you guys work with that group, the Real Food Challenge group?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
now. Yeah, there's the two or three people who are leading it up are members of the
Oh, cool.
urban farm.
Did that group kind of sprout out of this one?
Sort of.
Sort of,
Yeah.
Yeah. Work with.
TV Tree Club a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
They brought out their leaves to compost, and the TU Orchard project, which is just starting up on the hill.
Okay. How's that group different from what you guys are doing?
Well, they're primarily working with fruit trees and
Okay.
berries and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
And did they start separately, or are they kind of part of this group too?
They're a separate entity, but
Okay.
there's some crossover with the membership.
Cool.
Where's the food go?
in our tummies. No, I mean, we usually try and eat as much of it as we can before it
Within
goes
the group?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, sometimes we have communal dinners, and we're still kind of working out, you know, where the food should go when, you know, because things are obviously harvested at different times. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Some of these are going to go to Food Not Bombs, which is a kind of soup kitchen in Baltimore City. We'll take them there Sunday.
Do you guys work with other food kitchens, or?
We've worked with the Towson Assistance Center in the past, which is a men's homeless shelter.
Okay.
We've worked with Ronald McDonald House downtown, teaching kids lessons about urban ag and nutrition.
Cool.
Our goal. We hope that we can, in the future, work more with local schools in the area, and some in Baltimore City, because it's really nice to just kind of work with people who are younger than you, to always bring in new ideas.
Cool.
Did you say the Green Street Academy?
Yeah, that was one. So the Green Street Academy, I forgot to mention what that was. It's a charter school in the city that has their own farm, which
cool.
they in turn incorporate into most of the lesson plans that they do there, and it's super hands-on. And
No, that's what I'm saying.
the kids really do most of the work there. The students really do most of the work, even though they're supervised. So yeah, we hope to work with them and kind of use them as maybe a model. It seems like a lot that we can learn from their farm. So
Cool.
We're always expanding when we can, growing new things when we can, trying to get it into the food system at Towson. So we've had a farmers market in the Union. That was a huge success. We want to do that again. We've had a day where they put our greens and produce in the salad bar in one of the cafeterias. I forget which, but we have to do more of that.
Yeah.
We've done a bunch of workshops in the past. I'd like to do more workshops on composting and canning and bread baking. I've done those in the past.
Do you want to be more involved in dining services?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can't, we're not big enough to have like a constant stream of produce, but it just raises awareness when
Right.
there's a little sign that
And how
says-
do you think that would fit into them buying food that wasn't sustainably grown if you guys are donating food that is sustainably grown?
I guess it just sort of sets up a standard, right?
Yeah.
It shows that it's viable, that you can grow stuff in Maryland that's good, that people will eat. That's pretty cost effective. We do all this for really cheap. We have a budget, but we hardly ever use the money we are budgeted in the SGA. So
How do you think urban farm contributes to creative alternative economies in a capitalist system?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's kind of like what I was saying before, where our economy, globally has shifted from being production-oriented to being consumption-oriented. So this is a nice alternative to that. And it really satisfies something that consumption really can't, and I think a lot of people just never have the thought of having alternative economies or there being another possibility. You hear that argument a lot of, capitalism is just the best system because it's the only thing that has been in existence, but that's really not true.